Hi everyone. Hello. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday. So you all took one and had a good time. So today, as you just heard announced, we're only using the ball. That's my plan anyway. The plan's changed. So we're going to start with this. And hi, welcome to class. And we're just going to start with the ball under the sacrum, which is that big triangular bone near the base of your spine. So when you lay down onto your back, you have your knees bent, bridge up, and you take the ball under that sacrum. And then just relax your weight into it. Be sure that your back feels comfortable. You may want to spread the scapula a little bit here by sort of rolling slightly to the inner arm and letting the top of the shoulders curve up a bit. So you can feel the weight supported into your shoulder blades and the arms lengthened here. Feet are maybe 4 to 5 inches apart and slightly in front of your knees. And you spread your feet into the ground. We're just beginning with a little pelvic tuck and arch. So you curve the tail up and you sink the waist down and feel the stretch in your low back and the work in the lower abdominals. And then go ahead and come back to that neutral position. It's like a straight line from your shoulders to your hips. And then we're going to arch the back, sinking the tail down. And here you might want to pull the top of the shoulders to the floor and roll slightly to the outer arm. So the shoulder blades come in to support the lift of the sternum, the thoracic extension. And just check if it feels like it's too much arch, maybe come a little higher up on your back with the ball. And if it's not enough, slide your tail a little bit forward towards your heels. And we're going to exhale as we tuck and curl the tail up, the waist sinks to the ground. Feel how the shoulder blades widen so you can drop the spine and the ribs between the shoulder blades. And then as we arch, roll slightly to the outer arm, palms are still to the ground, and pick up your chest, pick up your rib cage as you sink the tail to feel a nice arc in the spine, the part of your waist that naturally curves up towards the belly, up towards the ceiling here, is increasing in the size of the arc, and then we're pulling the waist down to curl the tail up. So we're doing an exercise called the pelvic clock, which does come from physical therapy. We use it in Pilates a lot to help release tension in this sacral area and also releasing hip tightness. So if we think about the pelvic clock, come back to center just for a second and hold that plank. Take your hands to the base of your sternum. You're right about at the brow line, right? And that would be 12. If you go to the left side of the waist, that would be 3. The pubic bone or the tailbone would be 6. And the right waistline would be 9, right? So then we're going to fill in the numbers around this. So right now, as you lower the tail down, you're lowering 6 and you'll feel 12 lift. And then as you sink the sternum down here, pressing 12 to the ground, you'll feel the tailbone rise. So just a couple more of that, arching the back by dropping the tail, dropping 6. And then lifting the tail by sinking down through 12. Now, sometimes it's easier to have your hands on the points of your body and go like in a straight line down from that point to the ground. You could also imagine that there's a circle drawn underneath the torso that's the face of a clock, and you can just, in your mind, paint the numbers around the clock face so you figure out where you're going. So now we're going from 3 to 9. So take your left hand to the left waist, your right hand to the right waist. And the legs are steady. We're going to rotate to the left. So the number 3 comes down and under you. Number 9 comes up and towards the opposite wall. And then we're sinking down through 9 to the right side of the waist, draws a semicircle in the air. And the 3 draws a semicircle up and around in the air too. So we're going from one side to the other. If you think about your torso being a can or a bottle and you're spinning it on its own axis, that's exactly what you're doing here with your body. So you could do this inside a narrow wall, right? If you're inside a very narrow hallway, and the thighs and the shoulders would stay where they are, and then the torso rotates within that framework. Making sense? Do you feel it? This is a little different movement from the way we normally move our spines, and that's exactly why we're doing it.
Our legs steady.
Yeah, they might shift slightly, but you're not doing this by doing knee sways, right? And if you are attuned to your body, you might need to just think about it. you can sort of feel how the hip socket is rotating around the femur hips. If you can't feel it, image it, right? And then it'll help you start to get more awareness there, which is useful for everybody. Meanwhile, hopefully this is feeling really good on your back. If it isn't, let me know and come look to see what's going on. And then we're coming back to center when you've finished one of the 9 sweeps. And now take your left hand right under the center of the left chest, so right at the bra line, if in fact you're wearing one. Otherwise, just that general area. And then your right index finger is going in the hip crease on the right side of your right leg. So if you find the hip crease, let's slide the edge of your hand along it. And then if you move about 2 to 3 inches from the pubic symphysis, the little disc between the 2 pubic bones there, push your right index finger down into the crease. And then imagine the line drawn from that fingertip to the floor, and you're going to press the right hip down onto that line where it would intersect with the ground. Not going to get all the way there, right? But you feel the tip in your body and the sinking of that side of the hip. And now you're going to lift that hip up so you can drop the left rib cage at the bra line to the floor. And then we're going from 9, sorry, not from 9, from 7 where the right hand is, to 1 where the left hand is. And here it is helpful to keep the fingertips pushing straight down into that specific point. So when 7 goes down, the right side of your body, you may feel that the 2 fingertips pull together across the front of the body. So the oblique line is tightening here, diagonally from the left rib cage to the right hip. And then as you lower 1 down, the left side of the body sinks. That line tightens up again. I think I said that wrong. So here it narrows, it tightens, the 2 fingertips come together. And then when 7 goes down, the 2 fingertips pull apart. Yeah, that's right. And just do that a few times here. Also, whenever you're moving the rib cage, try to really move the scapula. So here the shoulder blades pull apart as you kind of curl the shoulders up towards the sky. And then as you lower 7 down, the right side down, you can push the top of the shoulders into the ground. So the blades pull together and give you a little thoracic extension, a little lift through the chest. One more like this. Everyone feeling that rocking on the diagonal? Yes, no, maybe? Good. And then let's sink down through 7. The right hip draws down. You spread the collarbones wide here. And then come back to center. And of course, we do the other side. So right hand under the right chest, center it there. Left hand in the crease from the left hip. Point the finger down into the hip socket. Again, at 2.5 inches from the center of the pubic bones. And then we're dropping down through 5 under the left hand. And then dropping down through 11 under the right index finger. And the 2 sides might feel really different. Our goal is to kind of notice any differences and then, of course, work to align them. So then we're going to pull the right rib cage down. So the blades pull apart, let the shoulders curl up a bit. And then sinking down through the left hip, right underneath your fingertip towards the floor. Feel the back arch a little bit and the blades pull together as you push the top of the shoulders into the ground. Right. If you don't move the shoulder blades in this exercise, you'll get a lot less mobility in your spine, in the ribs. And we're looking for more mobility instead of less. And then here again, down with 5, up with 11. Feel like 11, like open and spread, right? It's like the sun rising, like a flower blooming, it expands and opens. And then as you drop down through 11 on the right side, it's almost like your fingertip gets eaten up by the rib cage. So think of it like a sinkhole, sucking the fingertip in towards the mat. And then like a trampoline, as the other side goes down, that side bounces up, expands and rises. So we'll come back to center. And now we move our hands again. So we're taking the left hand to the base of the left rib cage. and the right hand to the right hip bone crest. So this is now 2 and 8. So now let's push down through 8, the right hip bone crest, 6 to the floor. And then you sink 2 down, curve the spine. It's flexion plus a little bit of rotation to the side. And then you're pressing down again to the hip bone crest and feel the 2 fingertips reach apart. You spread here diagonally through the oblique abdominals. And then as you pull 2 down, the base of the left rib cage sinks. The 2 fingertips, the 2 points on the body come together. So you're engaging that oblique line. Just do it one more time. So dropping down to the hip bone crest. This is a more acute angle, but it's still on a diagonal movement across your back, across your belly. And then sink down here through the left rib cage. The right hip bone rises and pulls in towards the left hand. Come back to center. Take a breath, clear your brain, and let's do the other side. So now the right hand to the right rib cage, kind of around the curve at the bottom of it, but above the waistline. And then the left hand to the left hip bone crest. That's the ASIS. And we're going to pull the right rib cage down so the hip bone lifts. And then pull the left hip bone down so the right rib cage lifts. All the while, the legs are pretty stable. You want to feel the movement of the pelvic girdle on the femurs. And just rocking from one point to the other. As the rib cage goes down, the 2 points draw closer, you have more flexion. And as the hip bone crest goes down, you have more extension. At the same time as you have the tilt to the left. So a couple more. Exhale to pull the points together. Inhale to pull the points apart. And one last time here. See if you can feel the movement here through your spine, through the pelvic girdle, and the rib cage moves the scapula for you a little bit too. And then the hip bone crest goes down. Now come back to center, arms at your side, and just picture that circle drawn on the front of your torso, and then a circle exactly the same drawn on the mat underneath you. So you can work through whichever circle you want. We're going around the circle, around the circumference, pressing down through 12 at the sternum, 1 at the base of, 12 at the sternum, 1 at the base of the left chest, 2 at the base of the rib cage on the left, 3 at the waist, 4 at the hip bone crest, 5 at the hip joint, 6 at the tail, 7, now we're on the right side, down into the hip joint, 2 hip bone, top of the bone, ASIS, 9 to the waist, 10 to the lower rib cage on the right, and 11 at the base of the chest, back to 12 at the sternum. So now you're just going to roll here and ooze your way around in a circle, try to hit all of the points and all of the points in between. And you're not literally touching the ground, you're just aiming for it. So the body becomes really fluid. I've really never done any belly dancing, except maybe once in a restaurant. I tried it for fun. But, you know, this is what I think would be a great exercise for those dancers. But it's an amazing exercise for our spines and our core. We're going to complete the circle and now do a counterclockwise. So from 12, go to the right and circle down and around. Notice where the body is at ease with this movement and where it might feel a little stiff, because that would be a place you want to spend more time on when you do this on your own. And you can free the legs a little bit. Again, remember, you want to move the shoulder blades. You are allowed to move the arms to encourage the movement of the scapula in a supportive position, whether you're in extension or flexion through your upper back. We're going to do one more. If you think about your body on your torso as a balloon filled with a lot of water balloons inside, just feel them sloshing around and helping you move freely here. We're going to come back to center. Lift the hips up and take the ball out from underneath you, and then shoulder bridge down. And then take a second here to just feel how open, relaxed your back feels. And I hope you all feel wonderful with this. and how aware you are of a lot of different points in your core. That's lovely. Now we're going to take the ball and use it like we sometimes do the roller here, the little flexion extents for the upper back. So take the ball, come up to sitting, and the ball's going to go sort of between the shoulder blades near the base of it, and you roll back onto it. So you can place the ball and put your spine on it, or you can pull the ball to the back and take it back where you want it. And if it's too low, you're going to, well, if it's really low, like towards your waist, you're going to get more extension. If it's higher up, you'll get more support and a little less extension. So you can see what you think. So we suck the waist down, curl the tail up, right, a bit of a pelvic tuck and an upper curl. Take your hands behind your head and pull the head forward, curl the tail up, and try to widen the back and sink the waistline to the ground. So now we're going to arch. So the tail sinks down, you let your head be supported by your hand, and you arch back, the elbows fall open and down to the ground. Maybe your thumbs on the occipital ridge here, the base of your skull. Chin to chest, tip the head forward to use the neck muscles, but you also use the arms. Come up and look into your belly as you curl the tail up, rock the pelvis on the femurs. And then the tail sinks as you start to roll back. Take the upper back extension that works for you. If you feel like it's not supported, move the ball. Again, you'll get more support. If it's lower into extension, more support. If it's too much extension, you can take the ball higher towards your head. When you lift, pull the elbows together and down, aim for your navel. And then when you go back in extension with the elbows far open, open the chest, open your wingspan, drop your head. Not too hard though, because the balls aren't that large, right? So be gentle with your skull. Chin to chest, pull up into flexion, elbows down and in. We're going back one more time, and then we're going to add some knee folds here with rotation. So as you come up, exhale, you pull the right knee up and twist towards that inner thigh with the armpit. And then unwind, lay back over the ball, lower the foot. You want to be weighted to the foot when you're in full extension with the spine. Now put a little weight in that right foot, lift the head, exhale, twist the left as you put the left leg up. The little recline from your left hip to the right chest, and then you lower the leg slowly as you lower the spine. The spine has more length to transverse, coming up to the right. Twist and reach. Think not just elbow to thigh, but armpit to thigh, and then come out of it, unwind. This is harder to do here than it is on the roller because the ball is less stable, right? It can move in all directions, so the roller can move in one plane, and then we're coming up, twist it to the left, and then back down. Doing this slow like this with the unstable surface is really good for your center. And then you feel a little bit of the burn, so you're coming up and twist, and then unwind and lower down. And then we're coming up and twisting to the left, less time, so make it a good one. The tracking of the legs should be exact here, done with precision. Come back into extension. And now you can come up, upper arm curl, bring your hands to your legs, and pull yourself up to sitting. How was that? So far, so good? All right, now we're going to lay down and take the ball into the neck and just get a little neck release. So you can roll back, maybe just bring the arms forward. Then find the ball, tuck it in at the whole, along the whole neck. So the curve of your neck fits over the curve of the ball. And the arms can just be relaxed, hands on your belly or at your side. And then you're going to turn the head slowly to the right and put a little extra weight in the left shoulder blade. And then roll the head across the ball and lift your left as you put weight into the right shoulder. Anyone feel any tightness in the neck, but this is something you release? Yep, of course, right? And then come back to center. But it's so lovely because the ball fills in any point that needs support. But you're not wrenching the neck, right? You want to treat it with respect and with some gratitude here. So just let the head be heavy and let the ball massage your neck as you move it. being aware that the opposite shoulder blade, not the top of the shoulder, but sort of the flat part of the blade you feel underneath the rib cage is dropping. Like you're sinking into sand on the most beautiful beach in the world. And that shoulder blade digs a little deeper into the sand as you turn your head away. But from side to side, remember, just breathe. And then we're coming back to center. Sorry, we're going to come on up. This is a great thing to do, like at the end of a long day. So just remember that you don't always have like a roller at home, but they do sell like little inflatable balls like this that make a great travel tool too. Do you take one of the inflatable balls to New Zealand?
Yeah, I took that and the Franklin balls, yeah.
Yeah, so great. Anyway, so now we're going back to take the ball under our sacrum. So you lay down on your back again and ridge up, and then the ball goes back where it was. And we're going to do some work for our core and our legs. So arms lengthen at your side here. Kind of lift the shoulders a little bit, and then settle them down without force, which is feeling the weight of the scapula sinking into the ground. Pull your right knee up into tabletop. Exhale, pull the left one up. Now this is a bit of a balance challenge, right? You feel how you may or may not be steady. So remember, balance isn't about just being still. It's about falling away from your center, coming back to it. It's an active process. So we're going to begin with the legs in a frog position, heels together, knees apart, about the width of your shoulders, feet apart, like a pizza slice between your feet. So we're going to frog up. So inhale, reach the legs up and out, stretch for the ceiling, and exhale and frog back down. And then you reach again for the length in the back of the legs. Feels good after having that bridge position for so long. And again, stretch. As the heels stay glued together. If you want more of a challenge for balance, you could lift your elbows and just go to your fingertips. And then that would be harder. You'll feel more work in your core as you do this. Now you also have the option, you can take the legs out further, a little bit lower, not too low. You want to feel this work in your abs without overworking your back. It's always the question, right? What is your range of motion? What's appropriate so that you work hard, but you don't overwork? And so that can really vary, depending on how active you've been today, how much sleep you got, what your normal range of motion is. And then we frog in, and now we go to parallel legs, some on feet. So imagine like a baseball tucked up into the arch of each foot and let the toes melt off the ends of the body. Press the legs together like a unileg, and you stretch it up and out, and then pull back. If you point the toes too hard, you're going to feel like your feet are likely to cramp. We don't want that, so soften them just a little bit. Think of some air between the toes, maybe wiggle them, and pull that back in. And again, like I said, if it's too easy, have less support with your arms. So you could either do like I'm doing right now, I just have my fingertips to the ground, the elbows and the palm are up. Or you could go to your elbows and have the hands lifted, like elbows at 90 degrees, and imagine holding the ball there between your hands. So reach and stretch. Work to hold the pelvis stable. As you come in, draw the legs in, and one more with the arch pointed foot. And exhale and back. Now flex the feet, reach out through your heels, and then pull this back. And you can personalize this exercise, right? If what you have is more concerned about hamstring tightness, just take the legs up towards the ceiling and drop down through your sits bones. Feel the stretch in the hamstring and then pull it in. If your focus right now is more on the core, the legs will go lower. So you feel that work into the abdominal wall, supporting the back, preventing it from arching. And if you want to get more through all bits of the core, lessen your connection to the ground. Maybe even going to just the thumb and one fingertip. And then breathe and just try to do this in a relaxed way, right? Part of that is accepting this little wiggling going on with your body while you do this. So don't get freaked out. We're very close to the ground anyway. Which makes it worse. So now take the legs up to the ceiling. So we're vertical here, or bring them back if your hamstrings are super long, right? And you point the feet and flex the feet, rolling heel ball toe, toe ball heel. So articulate through the foot, pull the toes back, flex at the ankle, pull the toes towards the shins, and then reach up through the tarsals, the balls of the feet, and then you curl the toes forward. Curl the toes back, and then as you move into flexion, dorsiflexion here, the whole foot spreads. As you point the foot, plantar flexion, the foot narrows, and there's an internal twist of the bones as the muscles wrap to take you into this position. Do it once more, flex, and then point. From here, bend the knees, and exhale, lower both feet to the ground, and with the feet about 4 inches apart. Just rock your hips a little side to side. We should do a little break here. And of course, if at any point you need to adjust the positioning of the ball, take some time to do that. Okay. So now we're going to lift the heels and go just to your fingertips, pick the right knee up. And then we switch the legs in midair, toe taps down, and switch again. Working very slowly and inhale for one movement and exhale for the opposite. Legs pass in midstream, so it's called reciprocal movement. Just breathe as you go. Focal point with the eyes, make it soft, not like super hard and intense, to help you find your balance. And we'll do just one more. And then bring that left leg up to meet the right one. Good. And now here, we're going to lower the feet. Inhale and exhale all the way down. Separate the feet 4 inches and then press the heels into the ground. Lengthen your arms at your side. So now we'll feel your feet spread into the ground and imagine a narrow wall between the legs. So you want to feel that your inner line of your foot and inner line of your thighs are holding the wall. Now we're just going to start picking up the right foot and putting extra weight into the right hip. And then exhale, lower that leg down, control it down, don't just drop it. You control it from your main hip flexor muscle, your psoas, and you spread the foot into the floor. Now, put weight in that right foot and the left glute as you bring the left knee up. As the knee lifts, the weight of the femur drops deep into that left hip, so you're stable across the front of the pelvis, on the ball, and then exhale, bring it back, or as stable as you can be on the ball, right? Settle the foot into the ground, both feet spread. Now, as we pick up the right knee, we're picking up the left arm, just to 90 degrees with the arm, with the knee, and exhale, lower them down. The arm has to move faster, so the hand and the foot move down simultaneously. Spread that right foot. Let's pick up the left knee and the right arm. Goes to 90 degrees, tabletop leg, arm vertical, weight in the shoulder blade, and exhale, lower down. Hand and foot touch at the same time, sink into the ground. Right knee, left arm coming up. Exhale, lower. Left knee, right arm, rise. Exhale to lower down. And here we go. Right knee, left arm lift. Extend the leg, bring the arm back by your ear. Bend the knee to tabletop, lift the arm to the ceiling, and exhale everything down. Left knee, right arm go up, bend knee, arch straight to the ceiling. Go ahead, exhale, extend the leg, reach the arm back by your ear, foot to the sky. Inhale, lift the arm to the ceiling, bend the knee to tabletop, and exhale, everything goes down. We're changing it up again. So right knee and left arm lift, keep the leg in tabletop, press your left shoulder blade into the ground, and pick up the right arm. Lower the right arm here. And then you lower the right leg and the left arm at the same time. Spread your foot into the ground and pull that imaginary wall between your legs. So now we pull the left knee up and the right arm up. And then exhale, lift the left arm. Inhale, lower the left arm. And exhale, lower the right arm and the left foot to the floor. One more set of these. We pick up contralaterally. Right knee, left arm. Stabilize across the shoulder blades. Lift the right arm. Soft gaze to the sky. Bring the right arm down. And exhale, left arm and right foot to the floor. Last one here. So pick up your left knee, your right arm up. Feel this weight through your foot, the weight through the shoulder blades as you lift the left arm. Go ahead, inhale, the left arm lowers. And exhale, everything else lowers as well. Good work. We're now going to pull the knees into your chest. First the right, inhale. Exhale, now the left. Lift the legs to the ceiling, stretch them here, and we go into scissors. The right leg back, the left leg forward. Reach out long. We're looking for a hamstring stretch and a little bit of hip opening. And we inhale to switch the legs. And exhale to switch again. And again, if you're finding this too easy, pick up your elbows, go to your fingertips. It's not too bad, right? Because we're working in the same plane here, the sagittal plane. We're not bringing one leg out to the side, doing asymmetrical work. This is pretty centered. Or ideally it is. The legs switch as you breathe. We're going to end with the right leg back by the shoulder and the left leg forward. And then exhale, pull the left leg up to the ceiling. And exhale, articulate heels together. So I would go ahead and lower your elbows down and have the palms flat to the ground here, at least for this first one. And pull the legs apart sideways. Open into a side split. Exhale to close. Pull the legs up and center them here above you. And then we pull them open again. Inner thigh stretch. And exhale, lift. Be sure the legs are sort of vertical here, because if you bring them forward, you'll get more distance apart with the feet, but you're going to get more load into the back. And that's not necessarily a good trade-off. Close on the exhale. We'll just do one more like this. Inhale to open sideways. Of course, the trick is legs have to be equidistant from center the whole time, and exhale close it to the top. Now this will be more difficult. We're going to leave the left leg up and take the right leg out to the side. Go slowly, figure out how far you can go and feel the work holding you together through the arms, through the left core. Exhale, drag that leg up. You don't want to go too fast. That would be too easy. And then the right leg is here and let's spiral. You take the leg out to the left. You're still in external rotation. You're pressing down into the left arm, but also into the right hip. And exhale to pull it up. Take your time. And bring the legs together at the top. Now, you'll notice that when the right leg goes out to the side, you'll want to move the left leg sideways as a counterbalance. Don't let that happen. And exhale, pull it up. Once you feel this in your core, I'm pretty sure you do. And then the right leg is stable, reach it up, and the left leg moves sideways. Lengthen out through the leg, exhale, and pick it up. Use the full breath to bring it vertical. And we'll do one more set of these. Taking it out, like a little external rotation. Reach every bit of your body on the ground or on the ball. And exhale, drag it up. Connect at the top. And here we go to the left. Right leg up, left leg sideways. Out and down, draw that rainbow arc in the air here. And exhale to lift it. Good work. So now we fold the knees in, maybe embrace the knees into your chest, pick up your elbows and just balance here on your sacrum with the legs pulled in tight. Maybe heels to the sits bones, through the chest, whatever your knees can support here. If your knees are not folding as much as maybe they did when you were 2 years old, you can just have your hands to the back of your thighs and give yourself a little space at the knee joint. And then from here, we're lifting legs up to the ceiling again in parallel. So we're open the legs about hip width, let's say 5 inches, and then press them forward in parallel. Support from your core, don't let the back arch. Close the legs and exhale to bring them on up. So the range is what you can support with your back feeling like it's stiffening, but not like it's overworking. So apart and down on the inhale, close together and up on the exhale. Maybe bring it back far enough to feel the hamstring stretch, open and reach down. Exhale, close and lift. We'll do one more, and you can experiment again. Take a little less connection through your arms to the ground. See how that makes it more difficult, and maybe the range of motion should change with that. We come to the top and reverse. So the legs go forward. You're glued together. You pull them open to hip width, and then you lift them and close at the top. And do that again. Remember, a soft point, so you don't cramp the feet, you don't cramp the calves. Open, exhale, lift. And close. We'll do 2 more like this. Reach out, trace your feet down the underside part of a rainbow, pull the legs open, exhale, and go up to the next color in the spectrum as your feet lift and then close at the top. And one more just like that. Legs together, going forward and down. Try to draw the legs in an arc forward in the same plane, apart to lift to come up. And center here. Now exhale, rotate and frog. We're doing bicycle here. Going down to my elbows for this one because it's asymmetrical load. So we'll take the right leg up and forward, reach out, try to slide the foot along the floor as it comes back and the other one goes forward. This could be done in either turnout or parallel. Might want to try both just to see how that's different. And then when you're at a good stopping point, we're reversing the back pedal. Slide the foot along the ground, exhale to lift the leg up. I'm going to skim the ground and kick the leg up high and back enough to feel the stretch of the hamstring. And the other leg is lengthening forward, giving a little hip extension. And then those legs up to the top. And let's rotate the legs a little externally. Lower the feet to your working level. We're going to hold them here, so don't make them too low. And we clamp the heels together 8 times, working from the outer thigh and inner thigh. So open, close, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Crisscross, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just one more set. Tapping lightly. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Crisscross. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Bring the legs together. Bend the knees. As you inhale, exhale, lower the feet to the ground. We're lifting up off the balls and then taking the spine down to the ground. Take a moment here to stretch. Legs forward, arms back. Open up that shape here. Moment or two to breathe. If you misjudge where the angle of your legs earlier, you may want to pull both knees into your chest. And let's all do that for a second. Pull the left knee in, exhale, pull the right one in. Just rock a little side to side, massage out the area by your sacrum. All right, and now here, we're rolling up to sitting. Because you would be, I know, devastated if we didn't do the ab series. Surely it's time, right? So here we go. So for this one, normally we do it right with the hands to the legs like so. Yeah. Here, we're gonna be holding the ball like this in a straight line from your elbow to the ball, the center of the ball to the elbow, in your upper arm curl. So pick up your elbow so that it's a straight line parallel to the ground, so not this, but this. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm gonna turn, we're gonna roll back to our upper arm curl, which means if you haven't done Pilates before, that you're gonna be resting kind of on the tip of the scapula. And so curl the tail up, hold the waist back, roll back slowly with control, let the abs really shoot down, to your upper arm curl, and then we pull the right leg in, look under the ball at your navel, pull the left leg in, don't look up at your knees. And you hold the head here, you press into the ball to find the connection to your core, the right leg reaches forward, inhale, we switch the legs. Exhale, we switch the legs. The leg shoots in, the other pulls out. Looking here, if you need to rest your head, of course, do that. But try to stay with this hand. Try to put the work into the lower abdominals. So feel like the long lever supports the head up here. One more time. And with the left leg out, pull it in. And let's take the ball behind the head and neck. Lay back on it, lower the feet. And just open the arms and turn it side to side. We knew I would be fine right now. One of the keys to the series is do not look up at your feet. You've got to look down to keep the torso in that upper arm curl. So now we're rolling forward again. Maybe extend the legs, take that ball behind your head here. We do a roll up with the ball. Lift the arms, lift the neck and chest, and up forward. Roll the ball along the shins, over your toes, just stretch out your back. And then you roll upwards. Now, the next one, let me show you, right? So this is the double leg stretch variation. So you roll back, you're still holding the ball between the palms of the open hands. So you rest the ball as far down on the 90-degree angle legs as you can. Look at your abs. Inhale, the arms reach up and the legs reach up, and then you fold it back in. I think of this like a picnic basket, right? So you open it wide and then you close the two tops. Ready? So we start sitting up. Hold the ball in front of you. Squeeze it gently to get the connection in right around the side wall of the chest, by the tricep lats, serratus, external obliques. Curl the tail up, look down, you're rolling back slowly. Try to control yourself down from your core. Pull one knee in and the other knee in. We'll rest on the shin someplace. And you lift the arms and legs first vertically and then fold the knees in over your chest. Keep looking down, don't look at your head, don't look at your legs. Because once you do that, the hip falls back and you start to lose your upper abdomen. So you stretch it open gradually to whatever angle you can still maintain the integrity of the spinal position without falling out of your upper arm curl, without arching the spine. Just one more. Squeeze the ball, pull it back, and again, ball under the neck, lower your feet, open the arms and rock your knees side to side. A little stretch in your back. And also, if at any time you just want to do this instead of the exercise that I'm choosing, please feel free. I probably should have told you that at the beginning of the session. Okay, everyone's entitled to do what their body needs right there, right? All right, and then bring the ball up, extending the legs. Let's do a roll up here. So lift the arms, weight at the shoulders, head, neck, chest, run forward and up. Take the dive here, roll the ball along the top of your feet. Top of your shins, however far it can go, and then roll it back to come upright. See how we're getting that roll up in there today? Good. So now the next one is going to be scissors. We already did one version. In this version, I'll show you first, and then you can do it. Because if you wait to hear it, you probably will not appreciate my teaching skills. So we're gonna roll back to my upper arm curl. Lift the right leg on the ball, and then we're going to bring the left leg up. Now, I'm looking at my abs. The shin taps the ball twice. I switch, tap the ball twice. That's your goal. You can bend the knee to bring it in. You can always lay your head down if that's what you need to do. So, okay, we go. You got my head, and then we're all going down. So, ball extends forward. Roll to your upper arm curl. Look into your core so you're not tempted to look at your feet or the ball. Lift the right leg up and the arms to the ceiling. Exhale, put the left leg up, so looking at your abs. Now the right leg kicks the ball 1, 2, and then the left leg kicks it 1, 2 as the right leg reaches out. So scissor split, tap, tap. The ball moves slightly side to side because these balls are pretty small here. Do one more set. And lift the feet to the left, lift the legs, and let's lower down. Again, rest your head on the ball, give your neck a little release as you turn it side to side. All right, for the next one, let's lift the head, take the ball out from underneath, lay your head down, fold your knees into your chest, and we're taking the edges of the ball in between the edges of the arches. And you can start with the knees bent, hold onto the back of your thighs, curl yourself up to your best upper curl here, and then extend the legs, support the head with your hands. Overlap or intertwine the fingers, pull the skull up and pull the waist down. Now, double leg lower lift, as always, be careful, smaller movements can be very intense. So you reach forward, exhale, squeeze the ball and pull the legs up, take your time. Even if you only move like an inch or two, try to count to maybe 4, 6, or 8 to move in both directions. And once you reach forward to your range, you maybe pause, you lengthen, you exhale, suck the belly down as you breathe out, and then lift the leg at the same pace that you lowered it, or even a little slower. We're trying to avoid just dropping the legs into gravity. You want to work your way out, take out the psoas, and then exhale. And embrace the core with the abdominal wall as you lift the legs here. So the psoas is what supports the leg width as it goes out and down, but you feel it in the abs because the abs are working so hard to keep the pelvis level on the mat and not allow the back to arch. We're just doing one more, for giving yourself a little traction through the neck by pulling up with the heel of the hand into the ceiling. Exhale to lift, take your time. Don't worry about what anyone else's movement looks like, just feel yours. Pull the knee in, hold onto the ball, head rest down. Let's open the arms out to the side of the ball in one hand. And now let both knees turn all the way over to the right. Tip the head, look to your left. Stay there for a second, just breathe into that stretch. Exhale back to center. Now look to the right as the legs fall to the left, the knees towards the ground as close as you can take it. The shoulder blades grounded here, so you feel the opening in your chest wall. Exhale back to center. And then let's extend the legs forward, arms back, hold the ball. And we come up one more time and roll it. Lift the arms, drop the shoulders, head, neck, chest. Exhale, squeeze the ball when you need to. Take the ball to your shins, roll it forward over the ankles, over the feet, and then roll it back as you stack your spine up to vertical. All right, so last one's going to be the twist, elbow to knee with the ball, like so. We've done this in a lot of classes, right? So you can hold the ball forward and then roll back to your best upper curl. Pull the right knee in and take the ball low by your right hip, lift the left leg up in the air. And we switch the legs, bring the ball over the knees, look at the ball as you bring it low and close to your hip, and switch the legs again. So you're twisting toward the knee that's bent and lowering the ball on that side. Even though the ball is going over the knees as you switch them, you're really trying your best not to look at the arc of the ball, but look down at the hip where the ball is going to be in a second. By reaching your ball forward, you get a little bit more rotation, a little bit more upper curl. This action is a combination of those movements while keeping the pelvis steady so the legs shoot right out of the socket and right back in. We're ending to the left. Put everything in, lay it on down. Stretch the arms behind you, stretch the legs forward, just open up that front line. Oh, we still have so much to do. There's probably actually about 2 hours at least of stuff you could do with the ball. So, we still have just like another 5 minutes. I'm going to choose shoulder bridge here. So we'll take the ball between the thighs, not at the knees, but into like part of the length of the hip of the inner thigh muscles. Straight your feet into the ground, arms reach forward. Begin with the pelvic tuck, curve the tail up, push the knees forward, squeeze the ball. You're going to press down through the top of the shoulders, roll slightly to the outer arm, and boost up through the hips. Feel that arc in the back here, supported by the arms and the feet pushing down, the glutes reaching up. Now roll slightly to the inner arm for the upper arm, widen the shoulder blades, and you can wrap that low back, sink it to the ground between the shoulder blades. Go one vertebra, 1 inch at a time as you snake your way down. And at the very bottom, you rock the pelvis so that you're over the sacrum, the tail sinks towards the ground. And now we do that again. So pelvic tuck. Tail lifts up and forward to push the ball forward, pull back to the heels. Rise here, push to the plank, then into thoracic extension, then into more hip extension. Find your max. And then roll to the inner arm, the shoulders curve up slightly. You're not like punching your back, but you're slightly softening the chest so it drops down. And really look for the stretches. At the end of the movement, try to pull your tail forward, out and down the mat. Aim it to the space between your heels as you rock here. Now let's stay here for a second. Hug the ball, and you're going to keep the thighs in the same plane as you just extend the right leg forward, straighten the knee, and exhale, bring it back down. And then the left. The ball shouldn't be rolling. Bring it down here. You hug the ball just a little bit. One more set. The right leg extends. This is knee extension and then knee flexion to bring the foot right back where you found it. And then the left leg. And down. So good. Now that you know the movement, we're doing it with the hips in the air. So shoulder bridge up, pelvic tuck. The feet spread as you put weight into them. The tail moves forward, you move the hips forward. And now press the arms, lift the sternum, lift the glutes. Extend into your left foot, extend the right leg out. And then fold it, squeeze the ball to prevent your hamstrings from screaming at you. We alternate the legs. One leg extends and pulls back. Other leg reaches, exhale, pull it back here. Try to keep the pelvis level in the air is part of the fun, part of the challenge. Well, fun is probably not the right word. Extend the left leg forward, pull it back. Now push both feet down, push both hips up. And then roll to the inner arm and curve your spine down into the mat. All the way down. And we're going to flip over onto your stomach here for a little swan. So you're laying on your belly, propped up a little bit on your elbows. The hands are going to overlap on the ball and extend the arm forward at full length. So ears between arms, look down and slightly forward. And maybe bring your hands to the far end of the ball. So as you pull the head and chest forward, you're pushing down into the ball, roll it towards you to lift up into a cobra or a swan. Cobra in yoga, swan in Pilates, same idea. And then release the ball forward. Let your back release you down. And then we do that again. So roll the ball towards you, press into it, chest up, heart high, eyes up too. Keep looking up as you lower the back, like someone took a ball and rolled it along your back from your sacrum to your waist, to the ribs, to the shoulders, to the neck. It balances there on your neck. And uncross the hands, recross them. And let's do a couple more. Pull the ball back, move forward, up at the heart, up at the eyes. Release it down here. And again, we do something very similar with the roller, but with the arms and the heart. Some of my clients actually prefer this version. It's say they feel a little bit more into their triceps, into their lats. And then exhale down. And then we're going to sit back in the child's pose. Totally deserved. If that's trouble for your knees, lay on your back and put your knees into your chest. Just let the head hang, let your tail sink. Stretch out your spine. All right, and then we stack the spine from the bottom to the top, coming up. And we're going to end with standing footwork with the ball between the legs. All right, so we're going to do this in parallel, so you can use the ball here, like above the ankles, below the swell of the calf. Feet are spread open into the ground. So We'll shift our weight forward. Just feel the heels are grounded and then shift the weight back. The weight in the heels, but also the balls of the feet, the toes can curl up. And then try to come back to center. And just see, that should be where your normal posture is. Sometimes when we go forward, we go like, oh yeah, I'm always like this. And we go back and we go, oh yeah, I'm always like this. But when you stand equally here, hugging the ball, you should feel sort of equal work in the front and back line of your body. Now, we're going to begin doing, because it's a demi-plie, I'm asking the dancers here. So you're going to flex at the ankle, knee, and hip to go down. You may feel a stretch in your calves at that point, and then you push the floor down to lift up. And we do that again. So watch the tracking of your knees straight over the tracking of the third toe, the third metatarsal. And if you feel the foot spread into the ground, we do this flexion, and then as you lift up, the arch kind of lifts a little bit. Same thing sort of happening with pelvic floor. As you go down, it's spreading. And as you come up, it narrows. A little less hinging forward and a little bit more like your back sliding down a wall. Just the arch of the back increases as you go down. The tail lifts behind you, and then the tail drops as you come up. Now, from here, we're going to shift the weight forward a bit and lift into releve. It's helpful to bring the arms out to the side. It's really helpful to squeeze the ball so you feel the inside line of your legs, and then exhale to bring it down. And I'm even bowing my feet a little bit more to really squeeze. So we're coming up. You have to find the big toe ball of the foot and the first metatarsal, and then bring it down. It's really common for people when they lift to releve to roll their feet to the outside edges. We want to keep that inner line to keep the connection through our central axis. Lift again. Coming up. And then down we go. Now, first do the demi-plie here. And now we're going to keep the hips at the same level and punch the heels up and the knees forward. Lift up to releve. Arms go out, or even up, whatever you want. And then we lower the heels. So we keep the heels glued as we go down. Lift the heels, come forward with the knees. Pelvis and head stay at the same height. Push up, lengthen the legs, stretch, and then lower the heels down. One more, then we're free. So we go down. These rock forward, hips still in position. Lift up, releve, high heel position, and then down you go. Separate it. Thank you guys. Excellent job. Let me know how you like this class. I think it's fun to do this periodically, using our Pilates concepts at our core to get through all these exercises. Have a great day.